broadcasting here live on Rainier Avenue Radio. It is your host, Queen Bree, and I am back in the building. Oh my gosh, it's been 2 weeks, y'all. It's been 2 weeks since we aired, and I'm still tired. Anyways, have to take a little break, take a little mental break. Sometimes you just got to know when you need some time. It took me a little second to get back on here because I need to yawn it out, just being honest. All right, let's start with some announcements today. If you enjoy shows like Clean Greens Living broadcasting here live on Rainier Avenue Radio, or Phil M, or Aristotle, am I saying this right, was a plagiarist, sorry. Ooh, that sounds like an interesting show. If you love shows like this and want to keep it going, please donate. You can donate on Venmo at Rainier Avenue Radio, or you can go online at rainieravenueradio.world/donate to keep shows like us coming. Now, you know your girl ain't got no sense and I just be up here playing, but you know what? These shows are real fun and real serious. Some of us have a good time. Some of us are talking about politics. Some of us are talking about music, but every show on here is so amazing, and we would love to keep bringing you live shows. There's a show on here for men about therapy. We need to keep these shows going. So please donate if you can. Election coverage of 2026 is here on Rainier Avenue Radio with debates, interviews, and panels until this year's midterms. Now listen, y'all. We want to bring real life information to you in real time. We want everyone to be able to vote. We want everyone to be able to know who they're voting for and have real-time information. And we can't do that if you are vandalizing our building. Y'all, you can't do that if you are confronting and attacking politicians outside our building, y'all. Last time I had Sawant on the show, and we had people. Should I stop for a minute or keep going? Okay. We have people outside ready to confront her. We literally are not trying to sway you anyway. We are literally trying to bring you information in real time so that you can make an informed decision. So please respect the building, respect the politicians, and respect yourself, and get the information in real time. Come here and listen and ask your real life questions. These politicians are human beings just like us who are trying to make a difference. Some of them are a-holes. Yes, they are. However, there are people that are running against them that you want to get to know so that you can vote them out of there so that we can make the best decision for all. Okay? So again, tune in to Rainier Avenue Radio for elections coverage all the way up to midterms. I am so excited to hear that my girl Vote for Jalen on Instagram. Go follow Vote for Jalen Scott on Instagram. Jalen is killing it in these elections. So please continue to support support whoever you want to vote for. Keep it respectful. Keep it cute. Leave our building alone. Stop vandalizing it. We're just trying to bring you real life information in real time. All right? Okay. So my show guest is running a little behind today. So you know what? We're going to talk about me. Okay. Well, we won't just talk about me. I want to invite you into this conversation. I'm actually happy we have this time together because one, I just turned 44. Yes, round of applause, because it could be worse. I could be not here at 44. I could be strung out at 44. But I'm here, I'm happy, I'm alive, and I celebrated my birthday, had a good time. Thank you to all my friends that came out. But I do have a question, right, before we get into this 44. You know, this show can go either way. We talk about life, we talk about love, we talk about politics. I have this conversation has been happening, and I want to get my friends' input about women and women feeling protected. And how do men approach women? So I was out this weekend. I'm the type of person, I was always raised to speak, hello to everyone. I don't assume because a man is approaching me, he wants to talk to me, be with me, sleep with me. I do not make assumptions. I assume people are being kind and they're saying hello. Maybe I should start thinking those things, but right now that's just where I'm at, right? So I say hello to someone while I'm out, and he says the most craziest thing to me that I think that we can share in here because it's not like inappropriate, but I also don't even know what it means or how to take it. Are you ready for this? Daniel's already laughing because he's already know it's crazy. This guy says to me, "Is your peanut butter stuck in my chocolate?
What?
Or is it the other way around?"
What?
What does that mean? What does that mean? I haven't been out here in the scene, so I don't know. But let's talk about it because I also seen this other debate on this conversation about how men should approach women or shouldn't approach women, or how women like he was like, if a woman doesn't show you any interest, don't approach her. And I'm like, is that is that what we're doing? Like, I'm confused. Like, I think that people should be able to speak and say hello. I feel like if a guy thinks you're attractive and he just wants to say you're beautiful, I don't see nothing wrong with it, but I can see how it's a slippery slope. But I want to hear your opinions on this because I think it's a slippery slope. It can be because, men are weird. Because even after he said that and I gave him the most randomest look like, okay. He sat there and stared at me for about a good minute and a half. Now that's weird. That is weird. If you say something to a woman and she gives you a look or she doesn't entertain what you said, I think that's a fair sign to be like, okay, you know what I said may have been crazy, or she wasn't picking my vibe. This is just who I am. Let me go. But you sit there and you stare at her for a minute. That's weird. That's weird to me. If a guy comes up to me and says I'm pretty and I appreciate it and I say thank you and I keep it moving, keep it moving. Don't linger. Don't linger. That is not a cue to keep going. But I don't know. I just feel like this topic needs to be had. So talk back to me and tell me what your thoughts are on women feeling safe, but also human connection. I don't know. Is this making sense, Daniel? Because I'm like, I'm a little confused. Like, I feel like people should be able to speak and say hello. People should be able to have a conversation because we're getting too weird with this where we're like, you can't approach somebody and say hello and start a conversation. Because like, I can smile at you and you can think I'm interested in you, but I'm not. So I'm just tired of this conversation between men versus women, but also we do got to talk about women's safety because women are not safe out here in these streets. And it's real. Like, I seen another wife who was showing her husband what it's like to be a woman and being in a car. Like, he's sitting there on his phone, chilling with the door unlocked. Women cannot do that. We have to have our keys out when we're walking to the door. As soon as we get in the car, we got to lock the door and we got to make sure there's nobody in the back seat. My kids think I'm crazy because if we get in a car at night, I'm like, hold on, got to turn on the light and make sure there's nobody in the back seat. Like, that's what women have to go through. So I just really wanted to know what this conversation is about because I think we're getting to a slippery slope where we're like, don't talk to them at all. Because then how do you guys build connection if you're looking for a partner? So that's my little spiel on that. But so hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions. Now, just my thoughts and opinions on it is, if you want to say hello, speak. If you're trying to hit on her, please check your game. Because something about a peanut butter and some chocolate, what does that even mean? Say hello, state your name, state your interest. Can I get your number? No. Okay, well, thank you for your time. Like, it can all be so simple in my Lauryn Hill's voice. Okay? Like, I just really don't, it's just too much conversation for male versus female. And then we have to talk about women's safety. I feel like we need to have a conversation on the show about this to further talk about this. In the meantime, give me your feedback. So as you know, your girl has turned 44. I am in my almost mid 40s. I'm not claiming mid until 45.
Wow.
Okay. Thanks, Daniel, for the sound effects. I'm not claiming mid-40s to 45, but let's talk about the mid-40 pivot, because I know a lot of women are probably feeling like, what is happening to me in my life? I thought it was just me too. Like you get to a certain age and everything just starts to, I feel like it starts to come into alignment, but we're so taught, we were taught to already have our stuff together in our 40s, that when we get to our 40s and it's not together, we start to feel some kind of way, right? So I feel like when I turned 40, I feel like I was born again. So, and I cannot explain this. If you are not 40 yet, when you turn 40, it's like some kind of weird magical thing where life just starts being different. You start seeing things in a different perspective. I feel like I always thought I was cute, but when I turned 40, I started to feel more sexier. I started to feel more free. I started to feel hot flashes, but not hot flashes, if that makes sense. So there's a lot that happens in 40s that that I feel it wasn't scary for me. Like I thought when I was going to be 40, I was going to be like old, but I feel like it's something new. So for my ladies who are 40s, turning 40s, if you don't have it all together, it's okay. I feel like 40 is the new pivot. And when we were growing up, they used to call it a midlife crisis. I don't think it's a midlife crisis. I think it's just 40s is when we start living life. Because in your teens, you're learning. In your 20s, you're out here exploring. In your 30s, you're building. In your 40s, you should be living, right? And what does living even mean? What does living look like? So living for people is totally different. Everybody thinks that they have to be at this specific destination, but then where does life go after that destination? We're always going to be seeking and moving and going for more, doing more, wanting more. So at 44, I don't feel like I need to have it all together. I am a little blown away. I will not lie and say, I can't believe that I'm 44 with a almost 23-year-old child. I don't feel 44. I think that it's okay to have reservations about being older, but I think it's okay to be older. Like growing up, I used to think in our 40s, we were going to be looking like the Golden Girls. And everybody that I know that are in their 40s are looking really good. You got to really make sure you're taking care of yourself because the recovery time is crazy. However, you can still go out there, you can still live life. So 44 feels good. The pivot, you're not the only one going through it. Perimenopause, good Lord, y'all. I be wanting to share so much stuff, but there be so many nosy people on there, but I think I'm gonna start sharing. Perimenopause is kind of crazy, but you just gotta lean into it. Like there's vitamins out there. Ladies, make sure you're taking actually everyone, make sure you're taking vitamins. As you get older, I realize vitamins are vital. They're very helpful. Staying hydrated is very helpful. What else? Not feeling like, and Deacon Jenna said, and we're prepared to have your feelings hurt. And be prepared to possibly have your feelings. Oh, you're talking about if men. I just got your comment about the men. Yes. Okay, look, let's pivot back to that because that's another thing. Be prepared to have your feelings hurt when you speak. Let's talk about, can we pivot and talk about hurt feelings real quick? Because that's really good. I feel like the fact that people are scared to have hurt feelings is another thing that stops communication and relationships. Hurt feelings people turning you down is nothing against who you are as a person, especially if that person doesn't know you. If that person doesn't know you as a person, them turning you down, we have to stop looking so deeply into that. And if you get hurt feelings because someone says, no, thank you, or they're not interested, then you need to do some deeper work because your life shouldn't be, we want validation. Yes, that's fine, but that shouldn't be your whole life, right? And I've worked on that in my life is like someone not liking me or someone saying something to me is not necessarily about me, it's about them. So yes, when you're speaking to a woman or when you're out there in the world, be prepared to get your feelings hurt, but also understand, do not take it to heart if someone's not interested in you. Do you know how many people diss people that are actually beneficial to them because they're hurting and they don't know what to look for in a good person? Child, I feel like we need to have a relationship guru on this show. I don't know if I'm equipped. I mean, I've had some experiences in my 44 years of life. However, we need to have a conversation because that was a good comment because people, I remember one time, and we were teenagers walking down the street, and this guy was trying to holler at my friend, and she turned him down, and she was nice about it. But do you know this man still had a whole disc track rap ready for her because he was embarrassed? So he rapped a whole diss track to her because she didn't want to be with him or want to give him the time of day. That's crazy. But again, we shouldn't be like men shouldn't speak to women at all. How about we, instead of saying men shouldn't speak to women at all, how about we start teaching our friends that don't know how to speak to women how to respect women? How about we start teaching respect instead of teaching don't talk, don't speak, don't try? We should start teaching respect. Ooh, that's a good one. She says, full self surges in your 40s, clarity at 50. Now, listen, I, I'm trying to take this in stride, but I can't wait for the clarity because, honey, I'm like, what is going on? Like, I want like an organized brain. My friend last night, where it's like, he was like, let's write out a list of things we need, right? And I love this. I love that we're sharing this. Thank you for sharing this, Deacon Janet, because I feel like growing up, we didn't really talk about these things. We didn't know what to look forward to. Nobody was really sharing things. So yeah, to talk about, and I feel like now that we're talking and we're having these conversations, each generation is getting to certain things a little sooner because the other generations are speaking. So thank you for sharing that. Me and a friend last night was just talking about things that we need. So we broke down a list of things that, we're feeling like our body needs. And I'll be open. Let me share my list. I know part of my list was rest. We grow up in this world. We've been talking, everyone's so burnt out. Everyone is so burnt out and tired. Like, you got work, you got kids. I was just thinking when I leave here, I got to go grocery shopping. I'm tired. Then not only do I got to grocery shop, I got to cook, but we're just tired. So one of the things that I know I need is rest. Rest, a calm nervous system. Do you guys even know what a calm nervous system feels like? Do you know what it means to have a calm nervous system? It just means that inside your body, this is just my definition right now, but if you want to look deeper, Google it. But it's just my nervous system. How I would have a calm nervous system is I can't take on other people's problems. I can hear you and what you're going through. I can support you. I can give you tips, but I can't take on your emotions because then now my nervous system is out of whack because now I'm worried about you. And then I'm worried about what I got going on. Then I'm worried about what my kids got going on. So what a calm nervous system looks like to me is resting, not taking on other people's problems, making sure I'm hydrated, making sure I'm exercising. Love. What does love mean to you? What does love mean to me? We all have our own different definitions of love. So I need reciprocity love. It's so hilarious how we have these words and some of us still can't even pronounce them right. But y'all know what I meant. You know what I meant. Anyways, care. Oh, this one is hard. Allowing people to help me. Child, I grew up with strong, independent women. I watched them. They didn't necessarily teach me, but they taught me to get it done. So allowing people to help. I feel like a lot of times for us women, especially us women and Black women, I cannot speak on men. I'm not discounting men, but for us Black women and women in general, it's hard for us to allow people to help us. So in my new year, of being 44, I am allowing people to help me. I'm allowing people to show up for me. I'm allowing people to support me. I had a coaching session last week, and it really had me in my feelings all week, to where throughout the week I kept randomly crying and releasing. That is new for me. And it was so new for me that I was laughing at myself, because it's like, girl, what are you crying for? And then I made a crying sound, and I was really like, what is that? However, it felt good to release. So being able to release things out of your body, crying does not mean weakness. Crying does not mean there's something's wrong with you. You are releasing whatever is going on in your life so that you can have a good nervous system. Deacon Janet said she's recently feeling something would call old. I don't know. I don't think you're old. I don't think we would call you old. I don't even know what old is anymore, because literally, I feel like there are 90-year-old people still out here living their best lives. I don't know what we did over the years, but yeah, I wouldn't call you old. You still actually look very young. You still look to me like you did when I was 19. So whatever you're doing, pass me on the secrets. I need peace, y'all. And what I seen this thing, Kevin on stage was talking about what true wealth is. People think true wealth is money. For me, true wealth is peace, because you can have all the money in the world and you won't feel peaceful. Like, what is your home life like? What is your surroundings like? Like, as I'm getting older and I'm looking at my friends, I'm realizing that there's some friends that I need to shake up my friend group again. There's some people that can't go where you're going and that have the same mindset they had. Some people don't grow. Like I had to tell my son last night, just because people are adults does not mean that they're adults. So what does peace look like for you? Who do you have around your surroundings? What is your home life like? What are you feeling inside? What kind of internal work are you doing for yourself? So do you feel at peace with yourself? And then it starts with self, and then it starts to move out into your surroundings. So making sure I feel at peace with myself. A clean home. I mean, I still have kids in the house, so I'm trying my hardest. I don't want to be one of those parents where the kids can't go in certain rooms and can't be on certain furniture. However, I do want a clean home. These are things I need, and an organized mind. You guys, in order to be able to move forward and move through and live life, you have to have an organized mind. And what does that look like for you? So these are things that I was discussing with a friend that I need and that I'm working on. And I wanted to share that with you, because when you write down these things, like when I was talking to the coach, there's some homework that I have to do, and I'm a week behind and I need to get on that. However, when you get clear on what you need, when you get clear on your destination, when you get clear on what's not serving you, and you write it down, you have to take the time to write it down. And I know that part is hard. Like when I was telling my friends and my cousin about my coaching session, we were cracking up because they was like, oh yeah, you on your own with that. Like I can't, no, it's too heavy. It is too heavy. But when you have these things that you want to do, and when you have these needs, and you're getting older and you have these pivots and you're wondering, where am I going? What does life look like for me? I'm this age. I'm want to be here at this age, but I'm not here at this certain age. What does it look like for me? And what it looks like is getting clear with what you want and what you need. Getting clear, not what you want, get clear with what you need, because there is a difference between what you want and what you need. Like, I recognized that a while back when, growing up, we were like, I want this in a relationship. I want that in a relationship. And then when you get in a relationship, you start to realize, oh, wait, I don't necessarily need what I want. I need this. So I hope that makes sense for you. But if you get clear with what you want, and you get clear, I keep saying it, get clear on your needs. I keep saying wants because everybody's always talking about what I want, what I want, what I want. What do you need? And you won't know what you need until you sit with yourself and you reflect on your life, and you reflect on how you feel when you got what you wanted, when you reflect on how you feel when you were hanging out with a certain person, or when you reflect on how you feel when you was working a certain job. You won't know what you need until you sit down and really go over your life and just do an inventory and have accountability. No one is responsible for your emotions. No one is responsible for your emotions. No one is responsible. No one's coming to rescue you. Well, people will come rescue you. I don't like when people say that. People will come and rescue you, but they may not have the tools to rescue you how you need to be rescued. Or you have to be clear in what you want and what you need for them to rescue you. I mean, how to rescue you. So people will come and rescue you. You just have to be clear on what you need, tell them what you need, and it'll all work out. So I guess at the end of the day, this little session, it's all going to work out. And yes, we're getting older and we're aging. I'm very okay with being 44. And I done said it 1,000 times on this show today. And I think I keep saying it just because I'm still in disbelief. I was just this 20-year-old girl out here trying to figure out life. And now I'm 44. It escalates quickly, but enjoy every moment. Life is a journey. It is not a race. We are not racing people to get to certain places. Do not look at what other people are doing. Stay focused on what you are doing. Stay focused on what you need, and stay focused on what works for you, because what works for you does not work for everybody else. Be your own person. It is okay to be weird. I have been told that I'm a weirdo. People think I'm too much. And it's like, at the end of the day, I'm going to be who I am. And the people who's going to be around me is going to be around me, and they're going to enjoy me. And we're going to have a good time. And it all works out, everyone. It all works out. But make sure you're getting rest. Make sure you're staying hydrated. And if you're in your 40s, make sure you're taking them vitamins and make sure you're eating healthy. We cannot afford not to, okay? And our bodies is going to tell us what we need to do. Well, that is it for today, guys. I will see you next week. And thank you for tuning in and sticking it out with me today. All right. Bye.